It's the controversial policing tactic that has divided communities and fueled mistrust for decades. The police say stop and search is a necessary tool to fight crime and keep the public safe. But critics say it's disproportionately used against black men and boys. During the pandemic, rates of stop and search increased by 25% in England and Wales, and the police are unable to explain why that is. To understand this more, we've come to meet a group of people in South London who are trying to do something about it.
My name is Rihanna and I am the leader of the Lambeth Young Advisors, and essentially I am in charge of the group of young people that work on this site. Some of the issues I believe that young people face in this area when it comes to stop and search would firstly be the fear of it. My brother, the first time he was stopped and searched, he was about 12, 13 years old. I sent him downstairs to get some milk. That was it, and he was gone for like 45 minutes. So there's that fear that it can happen at any time, right downstairs from your house. And you know, I have my mum's friends who talk to me about these things, and they are grown adults who are still experiencing the same things that these young boys are talking about. So when does it end?
In an attempt to answer that question, Lambeth Young Advisors have reached across the divide to open a dialogue with the police. They've also been providing young people with a better understanding of the law, something they have found to be vitally important.
So something that we as the Lambeth Young Advisors do is a lot of survey work, and we did a survey on just random questions about police legislation, and almost every single answer, a lot of young people in this area did not know those facts. And it's unfortunate that we even have to learn it anyway, but with the things that you see on social media and the situations that we're seeing with how police officers have been dealing with young people, especially this year, it's so important that young people at least are given an opportunity to learn when they want to and to gain that knowledge for their own benefit.
Tensions between the police and the black community stretch back almost 60 years. Lambeth Young Advisors believe a conversation between the police and the community might help change that.
One of the reasons why I joined policing is I've always wanted to serve communities, do the right thing, and I've always not liked unfairness or inequalities, and I've always felt that imbalance sort of driving me throughout my policing career. I've always also thought that policing doesn't always have all the best answers to how to deliver the service that you would like us to do. And so as the speakers have said, it's about how we open up far more to having people, young people in particular, involved in shaping and deciding how policing locally is delivered.
The reason that it was important for us to involve the police directly with our event was, number one, to ensure that the information that we are giving out is factual and correct. We don't want to be serving people incorrect information about laws and legislation. But also a problem within the community is that because of the trauma and the issues that come with police officers, a lot of young people and a lot of black people don't see police officers as people, as humans. They see them as police in their uniform, and that's it. So the point of bringing them to the event is to, give these people within the community a chance to express their concerns. And if these are going to be the officers that are patrolling our streets, why not also give them an opportunity to understand their community?
Do you agree with Pretty Patel lifting the restrictions on stop and search? And do you think that could have a negative implication of how minorities interact with the police?
I guess the part of the I can see where you're coming from in terms of the question that you're making. So the police, we don't make the laws. So the laws are made in Parliament by people that go out and vote. We're impartial, so we don't make political comment. But what I can say is that when laws change, we have that process where it goes through the National Police Chief Council, so they take a view about the guidance. Then locally, we'll talk to our IAG, we'll talk to community groups, we'll talk to the community monitoring groups. Coming here tonight and taking your feedback about what you think about that means that helps shape how we implement those any new laws that come into effect. So I won't make any political statements, but hopefully that just, what Niall said as well, just provides a bit of reassurance around how careful we are when these things come into effect.
From experience and from seeing how different situations have played out, When a young person knows their legislation and knows what they are talking about, an officer is almost taken aback and they have to almost reevaluate how they're going to deal with this situation, because this young person knows exactly what I need to do and how I'm meant to deal with them.
But what I would ask you to say, and especially to young people, with know your rights, just like a lot of you do, sometimes you don't, but just like you know how to play your games on the PlayStation, know your rights when you're on the street.
As the workshop drew to a close, we headed outside to talk to some of the young people about what it felt like talking to the police in an entirely different context.
I think the police showing like a concern, it inspires the community to want a change. Like, it's all good and well saying that we're going to incite a change and coming together and speaking about things. If we see no change from them, what can we really do? What does our little meetings and our little getting togethers and social media events really achieve? If at the end of the day, the people who are in power don't listen to them.
I think as adults, as parents, we need to educate ourselves as to what their rights are and talk to our young people about what their rights are so that they can advocate for themselves. And hopefully we will see less of these stop and searches on social media that clearly have not been carried out correctly.
But I'm able to speak to a police officer who's able to get my point across, and I speak for, on behalf of a lot of people and get our points, and it gives us a voice. It gives us a voice that we haven't had.
This can't be a tick box exercise, right? We can't have police being sent into the communities to have it look as though they're doing something. If you're going to come into the community and you're going to hear what people are saying and listen to their experiences, there's got to be action off of the back of that. But I think the community also has to be open to receiving the police in their communities and having those conversations, how uncomfortable they might be, but we can't just, keep saying we don't trust the police, we don't trust the police, we need to see change, but they're not actively trying to get involved to be part of that change.